Hey, this is B from Kongs R Us, and today I'm going to be showing you how to purchase legally owned Zen pinball tables on your Android device through BlueStacks and show you how to load it up onto your Arcade1Up pinball machine. So Mystery Encoder yesterday released his version 3 of the pack, which allows you to upload your 30 tables that we've seen before, but the secret menu, and I won't tell you what the secret is because half the fun is figuring it out on your own, will enable some interesting things you can do with your pinball table, including adding the Zen Pinball APK onto your cab. Now when you load this up onto your cab, again, this is the same free program that you would download from Android and play on your device, and it only comes with one free table, the Sorcerer's Lair. There's nothing else on this. It's pretty much an empty shell, but there's a way for you to legally purchase tables through your Android Play Store and export them onto your PC and then use the GUI system to upload it here. So that's what we're going to go over today. I can't give you links to the A1Pinner. I'm not going to be able to show you guys how to do the basic setup, but I wanted to show you guys that you can purchase Zen pinball tables because we want to support Zen and all the good work that they do. In fact, I own all the tables on FX3 on multiple devices, and I'm still purchasing it because I want to support them and see what we can do with the PCB on your Arcade1Up. So this model allows you to do that. So thanks Mystery Encoder. So the first off, I'm going to turn off my pinball machine, and then I'm going to get it into the PCB ready to go into flash mode. So if you haven't followed along for previous versions, you do need to reach around the back to your PCB and flip the little switch to the off position and then plug in a micro USB to USB cable. I already have it kind of modded, so I can just reach in easily and unplug it. You probably don't need to do this. This is just for ease of access for myself. That's my disclaimer. So I have my PCB micro USB connection. I'm going to plug it into my PC. And then I'm going to load up the GUI for the A1 V3 So this is a brand new GUI system here, and it's pretty freaking awesome. It's really simple to use. So when you plug it in and you turn on your PCB for the first time, it's going to automatically detect that you have your PCB turned on, and then you'll see this first thing, launch payload on PCB, loading up. And so if you don't have your drivers already connected for the first time, maybe you just reset your PC, it's going to load up the drivers and then automatically, so you don't have to do Zadig, you don't have to do anything, and then it's going to automatically, if you don't have the drivers, you have to click it one more time after it installs the drivers, and then it'll copy the payload to the DRAM. So this is going to take about 2 minutes or so. So while this is happening at the same time, this is setting up our PCB to get it ready. You'll see a couple things in here as well. So you have the secret menu, which you have to access. Again, it says don't do other things while the PCB setup is running, but it asks you to enter a secret code. And if you think about the best secret codes of all time, I'm sure you can figure it out. But if you enter that same secret code here, you'll see some options blow up here, and then everything else is fairly self-explanatory on here. You can get your APKs, you can do your installs, and then the new update launcher with the new interface from my showcase video is what you'll see over there. So this is going to take a little while. Let's get into actually how you purchase and play Zen Pinball on your PC. So I have my PC set up right here. And while this is loading up, you're going to want something called BlueStacks. BlueStacks is an Android emulator that you can emulate real Android programs on your PC. So these are real legit programs. All you got to do is just Google BlueStacks and you'll find BlueStacks here, and you can just download it. And once you download it, you can attach it to your actual arcade account or your Google account, whatever you use. If you've already purchased stuff using a Google account, you can do that. So you'll just literally go to the Play Store, search if you're already logged in for Zen Pinball, and then download it. It's a free app right now because when you download it, it only has one free table, and it's absolutely free here. But once you actually get the game itself and you open it, so let's just go back there and we'll go to Zen Pinball and open up the version that I already have. It will play and launch Zen Pinball on your PC, so you can play this 100% here, no problem. But what we're going to do is show you how to purchase tables that you want to purchase and play on your Android device. So here you can see my list of tables that I already own because I've already purchased this. Again, when you sign into your Google account, this is tied to your actual Play Store account. So I'm just going to sign in one more time. And you can see I have all the tables that I wanted to pull in here. Sorcerer's Lair is the only one that's not there. Let's go into the Zen Studios tables because I've not purchased any of these tables yet, but these are all the ones that are grayed out here. And again, for my Star Wars table, I also purchased a couple of the Star Wars tables that aren't on here that included 10. So here's some of the ones that are on here. So actually, I'm going to download one more of these. I'm going to download Droids because I know Star Wars Pinball Droids is not on the Star Wars table. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase this. So you just click Buy Table, and it's $1.99. Literally, I have my PayPal set up, one tap to buy, and I'm going to purchase this. Legally, I now will own the Zen Pinball Android version, and I can play this on any device that has my Android login information to it. So again, I could play this on my phone. If I downloaded my Zen Pinball tables here, I could play this through BlueStacks. This is legit tables that you purchased, and we're just showing you a way to export this data and then put it onto your Arcade1Up. So that's the sample of me purchasing the Star Wars pinball table. You can purchase as many or as little tables as you want to. You can do this as many times as you want. So I bought all these different tables here that I want to load up in here. I'm really excited about BTTF, Back to the Future, and some of these other tables. I probably will go through and just search through all the other tables that aren't already on the stock Arcade1Up cabs and see what else I can add on here, but this is just enough as a sample to get through the next portion of this. Okay, so after you've purchased everything that you want to, we're going to go ahead and close out the BlueStacks emulator for Zen Pinball. So we're going to go ahead and close. Just for right now, we're seeing that this is still loading up. It's still taking another 35 seconds or so. Once this is done, we can get to step 2, which is configuring network, which takes a few seconds. So after you've purchased your tables, we're going to go back to our BlueStacks emulator one more time. I'm sure there was a shortcut to get back into this menu, but under System Apps, this is where we're going to locate our APKs, what we downloaded onto your PC, so that since this is an emulator, it has to download the file. So under the System Apps Media Manager, then we're going to go to Explore, Android, Data, okay, and then there's this Zen Pinball Studios right here, and then File. So here you'll see all the different tables here that are listed, but you won't see the file names of them. They're going to have this really funky encoded number structure here. So we have to grab all these and then export them onto our PC. So these are all the tables that I purchased. And again, they'll have all these different number strings and number letter strings here. So just go ahead and grab all the ones that you've already had. And we are going to, not these system configuration thingies, we're going to export them to Windows. So we're going to click this export to Windows. It's going to say please wait, and we're just going to select the folder to upload them to. So I'm just going to go to my desktop, and then we're going to just add a new folder that says Zen Pinball, and that's it. Select folder, and boom, simple as pie. So now we go to our Zen Pinball folder, and we're going to see all the different file names on here that have the .pxp file type. So these are all the Zen Pinball tables. You just don't know what's what yet. So that's kind of the step 1 to be able to download and or purchase your tables officially through Zen Pinball and then export them to your PC. So hold on to that step. We're going to get back to this. Okay, so now we can close out of BlueStacks completely. All right, and we're gonna be done with BlueStacks for now. We're back to our menu. So while that was happening, we're gonna go to step 2. The PCB setup is complete. Please run into configure networking now. So this is like stupid simple. Like everything's grayed out. You can't click a wrong button here. So you just click on this one, and then here it's gonna say network adapters connected to USB. It's gonna do the thing where it chimes in and chimes out, and then it's going to connect. And once that happens, then you'll see all of these other things pop up and be available for you to update as well. So we're going to update and install launcher. This is step number 3, 1, 2, and 3. If you're doing this for the first time, you could also download your APKs and install your APKs. So you'll definitely want to do this. You can't do this until you download all this stuff first. And then you can back up your high scores, restore high scores, and then dumping APKs are pretty much just dumping your original files onto your PC. So the secret menu here again is the combination that you need to enter. It's a very famous code. Once you figure it out, you'll be able to unlock the secret menu. Just think about one of the most famous codes of all time, and you have to do that here and on your pinball machine, and you'll get it. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that's half the fun. You got to figure out the secret. Mystery Encoder wanted it that way. So once you get into your secret menu, you can install your Zen Pinball APK, fix table names, upload tables, and upload Solenoid CFG. So let's go through each one of these and what it does. So we do need to install the Zen Pinball APK. Now this is something you're going to have to download on your own, and literally all you need to do is just Google the words Zen Pinball APK, and the first thing that shows up is the download for this. So when you click on this install Zen Pinball APK, let's go ahead and just do that right now. You just go to the website, click on the download button, and that's pretty much it. And then once you download it, it will come up, and let's see, no, that's just a Google ad. Okay. All right, so it's starting to download. make sure that it is the Zen APK. When you click on this, the version 1.47, okay, version 1.47 is the only one that works. You just got to Google it, download it, and you'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. We're going to navigate to our downloads folder where we just saw that, the Zen Pinball APK. Double click on that, and it's going to install the prerequisite Zen Pinball APK. Pretty simple. And the next thing we're going to do is fix the table names. So remember when we exported the tables and there were all those funky names? So now we're going to click on this fix table names once this is all done. And we're going to navigate to the table folder that we had, and it's going to convert them all into official table names. So let's do this now. We're going to click OK. We're going to navigate to our desktop. Here is our desktop. Zen Pinball, hit the OK button, and it's going to start extracting each single one. So again, this was extracted and this became Family Guy. This one was extracted and this became Jurassic Park World. This is Aliens. So depending on how many tables you do, however many little or as much as you want to, it's going to just extract everything and fix all your table names and get that ready to upload. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and let this continue going. I think I downloaded about 20 different tables, and so you can see that all working magically behind the scenes. Mystery Encoder did a lot of work to this. If you couldn't tell, this was absolutely a labor of love. I mean, somebody who did this just to see what was possible on your Arcade1Up PCB. I mean, he's doing this literally just to see if he can. So he was challenged, if you will. And I think we are the ones that benefit from this. And this is cool that we can play our purchased Zen Pinball tables on our cab once you bought it. So this is really awesome. And so again, I want to reiterate that I'm not, and we don't, I say we because the Mystery Encoder and myself and anybody who's doing these types of mods do not condone piracy. So don't, just download the ROM packs for this if you can and upload this. We do want to support the creators of these tables and just play them in very, very awesome ways, including on your Arcade1Up Pinball. Since it's branded Zen, like what better way to play these tables than on a branded, affiliated arcade cabinet, which is pretty cool. All right, so I think this is all done. I think all the different tables have been processed so far. So we're gonna open up the Zen Pinball table and see what happened. So all these were the original PXP files. You'll see that there's this file folder that was created, and then now there's this other table, that's the other folder that says fixed tables. If we double click on here, you will see all the different now renamed PXP files: Alien Isolation, the Aliens games, Bethesda, Bob's Burgers, Porter's, my two Star Wars tables, The Walking Dead, all these BPTF, UT, Gloss. I think everything that I wanted is here. I can't remember if there's something that I purchased that I didn't. If you missed something, you just need to go back and figure it out. Okay, these right here, we're gonna get back to in a second because these files have all this metadata and this table information. Again, so this folder, if we open this up in Notepad, this was the configuration for Jurassic World Pinball, but we're gonna come back to this in a second about why we need this particular data. Let's go back to our GUI. We're gonna go to upload tables now. So here we're going to upload the tables. Again, make sure you only upload the tables. Again, you don't only have 1.8 gigabytes of space. If you go to the fixed tables and you check all of this data here, this data for these tables is only 579 megabytes. So this is something that you can double check before you upload everything. So I'm going to delete The Walking Dead and delete BTTF because I've already tested installing those onto my table. So I'm going to install everything else that's here and we're going to test it out. So let's go ahead and click the OK button. So again, if you click on upload tables, it'll give you this prompt. Hit the OK button. We're going to navigate to our desktop, Zen Pinball, fix tables, and upload all of these PXP files. Just highlight them all, Control A, drag and drop, and hit the open button. You'll see each one of these is now being uploaded to the table. So let's just go ahead and do that one by one. And so while this is happening, because it's going to take a little while for all the tables, it's now going to ask you about uploading the Solenoid CFG or configuration file. So Mystery Encoder did amazing work on this. So it's like, yes, you could just upload it onto the Arcade1Up Pinball. Yes, you could just play it on your phone, but why did we spend all this money on a physical arcade cabinet or pinball cabinet? It's to utilize the plunger, it's to utilize the solenoids. That's what makes this the whole package, is that if we couldn't tap into those hardware devices, was it worth doing this mod? And so Mystery Encoder essentially reverse engineered you know, some of the scripts that have been created, not scripts, it's DOF links, right? So DOF links is another program that listens to FX3, and then if you set that up, you can have it fire solenoids that you hook up if you're setting up a virtual pinball machine. He reverse engineered that and figured out how to get the solenoids to listen to actual events and trigger them using the stock software. All that means is that you need to have individual configuration files for every table that you upload, and in order to do that, you have to do a couple different things. So there might be some future updates to make this a little bit simpler, but the short is if you go back to your folder for the A1Pinner version 3 under the tools section, you'll see something here that says configs, and right now there's a CIT config, which is the Citadel or the Sorcerer's Lair configuration. This is the only configuration file that's listed because it's the only free game that's included on the APK pack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, just for right now, just to test it, I'm going to make a copy of this file. I'm going to make a couple of copies on here. Let's just make 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make 3 different copies of this just for now. If you open up what this file says on the notepad, it just says bumper 1, bumper 2, bumper 3, left sling collision, right sling collision, left flipper, right flipper bottom, and these are just tied to the probably which solenoid fires when you see this stuff going on. But in order for this to work, we have to create the unique file for each one of those tables. So remember back in this Zen Pinball folder where there's all these weird metadatas, what we need to do is go to the metadata, go to the table configuration, open it in Notepad, and you can see for Jurassic World Pinball, the short name is what we really need. Short name is just JW, okay? So even though in the, I know this is where it gets really complicated, in the fixed table names, it says JPark PXP. This is not the shorthand that we need in the configuration file. We actually need to make sure that we go back to our tools configurations for this copy. We're going to make a JW configuration file for Jurassic World. That's pretty much it, and we're going to upload all these files into there at the same time. So let's go back to our fixed table and just go to this next one here. So we're going to go to meta, table configuration, edit notepad. The short name for Jurassic Park Pinball is just JP. So let's go ahead and change one of these to jp.config. I hope this makes sense. I know it's really convoluted. I'm hoping that in the future that Mystery Encoder will create some sort of pack that already has this all together. I'm sure he's already working on it, but for now, if you wanted to really do this today, this is how you got to do it. You got to go to Family Guy Pinball and figure out the short name is F Guy. F this guy, right? So F Guy, we're going to just rename this to F Guy CFG. So you have to manually do this for all the pinball tables that you want to. I'm not going to do them all. I'm only going to do it for these for right now and hope that the configuration files work. In fact, the Citadel file here is unique to this table. There might be some different configuration files that are unique to each table that have different events going off. And so there might be a different way to configure this. But if you want a baseline version that should work at the very minimum with the flippers and everything else, you can do this. So hopefully that made a bunch of sense. If not, good luck. So we just uploaded all the tables. Now we're going to upload those solenoid CFGs. The last thing that we did, make sure configurations are named properly or they may not work. Triggering on some slingshots can be iffy and way more often than it should be. So be careful what configurations you run. Good news is that you can up this later on. So we're going back to our, let's see, our desktop, to our tools, our configuration files, and then these CFG files that we just created here. Okay, so these are the ones that I'm going to test. This was Citadel, this is Family Guy, this is Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Let's just upload these for right now, and you see it uploaded really quick. And that's it. So I don't remember what I did and didn't do, but everything should be updated now. And now let's unplug the pinball machine and boot it back up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and unplug this. We're gonna turn this off. We're gonna flip the switch one more time. Back to the on position. All right, and then we're going to turn it back on and see what happens. All right, so we're back, and now we are in our front end menu. Everything worked out just fine for right now. Gonna move this microphone over here so you can hear me a little bit better. So you have your Marvel pinball table, your Star Wars pinball table, your Williams pinball table. All the features that I showed you before still work. Once you unlock the secret code on your cabinet, this is what you're gonna see, the Zen Pinball table. So let's go ahead and launch this up one more time. And before, if you launch this up the very first time, you're not going to see any tables installed besides the Sorcerer's Lair one. We should now see some more of the icons updated on here. I'm testing things out for the first time, so I'm hoping this worked out pretty well. And let's see if there's any hiccups on here. Alright, so this is pretty exciting. So you can see, if I navigate the menu, all the different tables that I loaded up before, they're now on here. So they're all lit up here. This is freaking awesome. So let's go back.
Back to the future.
Yeah, let's go back to the home screen for a second. Let's go over to my Star Wars tables. So this is down. So you can see I only purchased through two of the Star Wars tables, so that's why they're only lit up. Everything else is grayed out. And I think I changed the language for something. That was funny. Alright. Let's go to the Family Guy table, because that was the one that had the solenoids.
Family Guy.
Alright, I hope the configuration files worked out. If it doesn't, then I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I've been told by Mystery Encoder that it should work. But let's just double check it. You can see our Family Guy here.
Okay, here we go.
Pull back on the plunger.
Begins again.
Look at this plunger support. The plunger support is freaking amazing. So you pull the plunger support.
Joe, that was so close.
And I can hear the solenoids flipping. So that's freaking amazing. Really cool.
Good so far.
Yeah. Awesome. And this also runs in the 1080p mode, so you can do 1080p mode or you can do the 720p mode. The only downside so far right now is that the DMD score and the volume switch doesn't work on this, unfortunately.
Hey Joe, I'm over here.
And the DMD score is just on this tiny little screen on the top. It's not on the back. But, you know, I think that's something that Mystery Encoder might try to work on in the future. But otherwise, you have working Zen Pinball tables that you just purchased now in your Arcade1Up. So to exit this is a little bit tricky. To exit the game, you have to hold down the left start button. Okay, and then it's gonna launch that menu, but you have to do it really quick. You have to hold it down, and as soon as you see the menu, you gotta let go. So we're gonna hold it down, let go, okay, and now we can navigate to the home screen. We're gonna navigate down to the home screen. Alright, so that was a little tricky. So whenever we get to the home screen, then we gotta hold this button down one more time, the down button. It's gonna spin, but then it's gonna ask if we wanna quit. And that's how you get back into your main menu. So that's pretty much it for this video. We did it. We added the Zen Pinball tables that we purchased through BlueStacks on Android, and we loaded it into your Star Wars Arcade1Up Pinball machine. So I am ecstatic to see that there's just more possibilities with this for people that are interested in modding their pinball machine using still the stock PCB hardware. So again, we take no liability for anything that happens. I don't, Mystery Encoder doesn't. I don't know who else has put time and work into this. I'm just the messenger that's showing you guys what's possible. So I hope this video helped out. If it did, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, but I usually don't ask for that. But I hope you enjoy the possibilities that you can work on with your Arcade1Up. See you next time. Peace.